Good morning, Agriscience, and we're back in the shop today and going to be doing a little lesson on herd health management and just a little quick video on that and really just mostly talking about injections. As we've talked about it in our discussion over the last few weeks in beef cattle, there's a lot of talk about how safe our food is. Now, I want to take time as we begin this to point out that cattle producers that I know try to take great care in making sure that what they do to their animals is as safe as possible. There's ways to be trained on administering medicine, and we're going to be talking about that towards the end of our video. And hopefully some online certifications for you guys while you wait at home, and you can rack those up. Those will be things that you can use and we can put forward in your repertoire. Now, there are some misnomers when it comes to administering medicine to our livestock. A lot of people out there in the world today have a belief that we kind of willy-nilly go about and give our animals injections. And that's just not the case. You know, I'm not going to go to the doctor and get a shot just because I feel like I want to get a shot, okay? And I think you guys know how I feel about myself getting shots. So I'm not about to get up my cattle and take some, 1,700 pound animal and put in the squeeze chute and give them a shot that may cost quite a bit of money for that cow. I'm not going to do that just because, okay? If I do it, it's either for one of two things: to prevent, okay, or to help suppress something, okay? So let me give you an example. How many of you guys go to the doctor and when they give you a shot, you ask to know what's in that shot? Probably not any of you, okay? For instance, I went and got my flu shot this year. I did make them give me a readout of what was in that shot. They could have given me a shot for the measles for all that I know, okay? But I went and got that shot, and they stuck that needle in me. We're not even talking about our food right now. They gave me a shot. And so, I didn't ask for a printout of what was in that shot. I didn't ask for the data on the trials. I didn't ask for the statistics of how many people get. I didn't ask for any of those things. And I doubt you do either. Then the same goes with if they're allergy shots or if they're vitamin shots or, and the list can go on and on and on when we're talking about medicines that we take. And I don't care how adamant you are about knowing what goes in your body. We really still don't know as much as we think we know. Now, I'm not trying to invoke fear or panic in your mind, but I'm just giving you an example of how on a yearly basis we do things that we may assume that we know, but we really don't know the entirety of it. Now, with that kind of platform laid and that foundation laid, we want to talk about giving our animals injections, because there's a lot of buzz in the background of people that are upset because livestock producers have to give their animals shots. So that's why I wanted to start off with us getting shots, okay? Because whereas we're not asking those questions and we're not seeking those answers and we're maybe not finding out that information on shots that we get, the same people are going and they're not eating beef or they're not eating pork or poultry because maybe they read something in an article, okay? Now, there's a lot of good information on the internet, but there's a lot of trash. And if we believe everything we read on the internet, then Al Gore invented the internet a few years ago, okay? That's a joke, and if you don't know what that meant, ask your parents. But back to this. There are ways to go about giving and administering your animals medicine And there's actually this thing called the Beef Quality Assurance Program. And it is at bqa.org. Now you can get on there and for free you can make an account and for free you can go through these courses that are going to teach you and show you videos and give you literature over how to properly administer injections and take care of your herd health situation, okay? And you're going to get certified in this. So you can do that. There's a possibility. If I click over here, I think it's this tab, on this particular one, you know, I've got 3 different versions. They've even got it in Espanol, if you need that. But there's 3 different versions. There's the cow-calf operation, the stocker or backgrounder certification, and the feed yard certification. So all those things are things that you guys can be doing in your home while you've got time, and you can get certified, and at very least it helps you to be more knowledgeable about your food and what's done to your food before you get it. Now let's talk about injections in beef cattle for just the last few minutes. With beef cattle, we're talking about, again, any animal that is going to be sold down the line or is in the lineup of producing beef products, okay? So we may be talking about a little bitty calf, we may be talking about a feedlot steer, we may be talking about a full-grown bull that's in our herd, okay? Whatever it is, we're getting that animal up and it's sick. Or maybe we're trying to prevent sickness, so we've got to get a shot. Whether it's preventative or reactive, we're doing one of those 2 things in order to help that animal have the best health possible, okay? I don't want to eat anything that spent most of its life being sick, all right? I want a healthy animal, and then that healthy animal is going to do better, okay? They're going to have a better quality of life. They're going to enjoy life while it lasts, and they're just going to do better as a whole. Now, there's some things that I want to leave with you today in case you don't go looking for those certifications. But there's a thing called an injection zone, and it's a triangle. Now this triangle is right over below the top of the neck, goes back to the shoulder and down just a little bit towards the point of the shoulder. Now this injection site is where I'm going to give my shots for animals. One reason that I'm giving them here, not a big demand for what is there meat-wise, okay, if anything. All right, most of the money makers are behind that. So you don't have to worry about your animal getting an injection in the meat that you're going to eat. By the way, when your processors go through that, they're going to inspect the carcass, and those injection sites, if they have been given somewhere else, will more than likely show up, and that piece of meat will have to be discarded, okay? But there's 2 types of shots, subcutaneous and intramuscular. Subcutaneous is simply where you pinch up the skin, put in the needle underneath the skin, and inject the medicine, okay? So subcutaneous, underneath the skin. And we're talking intermuscular, that is where it's going into the actual meat of the animal. But again, we're in a zone, if given properly, it's given in a zone in which you don't really have to worry about that affecting what you're eating, because again, most of your money maker is below and rear of that triangular area. Now when I give a shot, I'm going to use either a 16 gauge or an 18 gauge needle, all right? That way I can push the medicine in, but at the same time, it's not like I'm trying to put something in that I can drive a Volkswagen through, okay? Some of you people that have given blood, you know what I'm talking about. So 16 or 18 gauge needle, and then the length. So the length, if you're doing subcutaneous, usually is somewhere between 5/8 and a ½ inch, okay? Relatively short. If I'm doing intermuscular, I'm going to go from 1 inch to 1.5 inches, okay? And the reason being, again, is so that you can do what you have to do as far as the shot goes. I feel like I also should throw this out there, that if I'm giving that shot, okay, again, I'm doing it because I have to. I have to. All right, it's either a preventative or it's a reactive type situation. I'm not doing it because I just willy-nilly want to give something a shot. All right. But at the end of the day, when I have that needle, I want to change the needle out with every animal. Think about this. If you went to the doctor and you got a shot, okay, and the next person came in to get that flu shot behind you and they used the same needle, how sanitary are we? Okay, we need to change those out frequently. Typically, people will say no more than 10 to 15 animals change that needle out. But really, with the cost of needles in bulk, we're talking cents on the dollar. You can just swap those out. Also, if we're having to give more than a certain amount or several cc's of medicine, should I say, then we're going to give no more than 10 cc's per injection site. So if I'm having to really give them quite a bit of medicine for whatever it is, if I've given them 10 cc's here and it requires 12 and the syringe holds 12, I need to move to another injection site and give the rest of that medicine. All right. Finally, I want to leave this thought with you. Most injections are subcutaneous, which means they're going right under the skin. They're not going in the meat. Now, there are still some medicines out there that require an intramuscular shot, but they are fewer and farther between than they used to be. So this is one thing that helps the quality and health of your herd, but also keeps the quality of that meat so that the consumer can safely enjoy it once it's all said and done. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a great day.